Have you ever had a strange feeling that someone likes you, but they never actually said it? No confession, no flirting, no obvious sign. And yet, every time they enter the room, something feels different. Maybe they look at you for a second longer than everyone else. Maybe they remember a tiny details you mentioned weeks ago. Maybe their behavior changes around you. Here is what's fascinating. Most people think attraction begins with words. Psychologists know the opposite is true. Words are usually the last thing to change. Long before someone admits they are attracted to you, their body already knows, their eyes knows, their nervous system knows. And today, I'm going to show you how to read the hidden languages of attraction, the subtle psychological signal that reveals what people often try to hide. And stay until the end, because I will reveal the 1-second test, a sign so powerful that it's almost impossible to fake. Let's begin. Imagine you're scrolling through hundreds of photos. Suddenly, you see someone you are genuinely attracted to. What happens? Your brain instantly releases chemicals associated with attention and reward. And one of the first physical reactions occurs in your eyes. Your pupils slightly expand. Scientists have observed this effect for decades. When we see something we genuinely like, our eyes unconsciously open wider to take more information. Now, before you start carrying a magnifying glass everywhere, these are easier signs to notice. One of them is called the triangle gaze. Here is how it works. During normal conversation, people usually move their attention between your eyes. But when attraction enters the picture, their gaze often shifts from one eye to another eye, and then briefly to your mouth. Eye, the mouth. It's subtle. But once you notice it, you start seeing it everywhere. This another sign most people completely miss. It's called the eyebrow flash. When someone unexpectedly sees a person they genuinely like, their eyebrows rise for a split of a second, just a fraction of a second. Most people never notice it consciously, but psychologists consider it is one of the strongest signs of positive recognition. Your brain reacts before your social mask has time to appear, and that is important because genuine attraction often reveals itself before conscious control begins. Have you ever noticed how some people somehow end up near each other at parties, near each other in meetings, near each other in groups? Almost like gravity is pulling them together. That's because attention often clears what psychologists call proximity-seeking behavior. We naturally move closer to things we enjoy, right? And away from things we don't. Now here is something interesting. If someone is attracted to you, their body may reveal it even when their words don't. Look at their feet. Look at their torso. Where they're pointing. People subconsciously orient their bodies toward what they capture their attention, even when they're talking to someone else. But attraction isn't always confidence. Sometimes attraction creates anxiety. This is where many people get confused. They assume if they like me, they'll come closer. Not necessarily. Some people move closer when attracted. Others become nervous and create distance. The key difference is posture. Someone avoiding you usually appears disengaged. Someone attracted but nervous often appears tense, self-conscious, and unusually aware of your presence. They may avoid eye contact. They immediately look when you are not watching. They may stare away physically, but keep monitoring where you are. This is why context matters. One sense means little. A pattern means everything. Now let's talk about one of the most powerful attraction signals in psychology. It's called mirroring. Human beings naturally imitate people they feel connected to. It's an ancient social behavior without realizing it. We begin synchronizing. Imagine you're sitting across from someone. You take a sip of water. A few seconds later, they take a sip too. You lean back. They lean back. You smile. They smile. This isn't manipulation. It's a biological mimicry. Your brain cells subconsciously trying to get onto the same wavelength. And here is a fascinating part. Most people don't even know they are doing it. Attraction creates synchronization, not only in movement, but sometimes even in speech. Researchers have observed that people often modify their voices around those they find attractive. Men may speak slightly deeper. Women may become slightly more melodic and expressive. The change is usually tiny, but it's there. Why? because attraction makes people more aware of how they are being perceived. Their nervous system is quietly saying, this person matters. And when someone matters, behavior changes, even when intention remains hidden. Now let's discuss one of the most misunderstood signs, pets. Not obvious pets, not dramatic pets, subtle pets. The kind people can easily deny. A hand briefly touching your arm, a shoulder brush that lasts slightly longer than necessary, a playful tap. Psychologists sometimes describe these moments as social props, tiny experiments. Your brain wants information, so it creates small opportunities to see how the other person responds. And perhaps the most revealing moment happens during laughter. Imagine a group of friends laughing together. Everyone laughs. But where does their attention go immediately afterward? Who do they look at? The research and observations suggest that people often glance toward the person they feel closest to or most emotionally invested in. It's one of those unconscious behaviors people rarely control. And that's exactly why it's so revealing. So, what is the 1 second test? The signal that's incredibly difficult to fake. It is simple. Watch their first reaction. Not the reaction after they notice you. Not the reaction after they think about it. The first reaction. The first second you walk into the room or your eyes suddenly meet. What happens immediately? Do their eyes brighten? Do they smile automatically? Does the smile raise their eyes? Psychologists call this an induction smile. A genuine smile involving the muscles around the eyes. A genuine smile appears before conscious controls take over. It's spontaneous, natural, authentic. And that's why it's so powerful. Because the truth often appears before people have time to hide it. But remember something important. Attraction signals are clues, not guarantees. No single sign proves anything. The real secret is looking for patterns, consistent behaviors, repeated signals, not isolated moments. And most importantly, understand the psychology, but always respect the person. Now tell me in the comments, which of these signs have been noticed recently and which one surprised you the most? If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more psychology, human behavior and relationship insight. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.